Hello everyone, my name is Aiden. Welcome back to another video, a draft prospect video, ladies and gentlemen. Today we begin the conversation on Collin Murray-Boyles. He is a forward, ladies and gentlemen, and ultimately he's one of those guys that a lot of people are gaining a very much big interest in him because of what he has the capabilities to do, but also I feel like a lot of people are steering away from him for the massive weaknesses that he may have. He's an interesting topic and an interesting player to kind of discuss with the 12th overall pick. So without further ado, let us get started. Before we do though, if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about whether or not you believe Collin Murray-Boyles should be the 12th overall pick for the Chicago Bulls. So I mentioned he's a forward. Relatively undersized. Some people list him at 6'8", some people list him at 6'7". He played, I want to get this right because, you know, this is what I read was crazy. He plays for the South Carolina Gamecocks. I don't know what that means, but South Carolina, let's put it that way. He averaged 16.8 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and he shoots 58.6% from the field. Keep in mind, a lot of that is from the mid-range and the paint area, specifically the painted area. He's very much known for his ability to finish around the rim and his face-up game around the rim as well. That is what he's known for, ladies and gentlemen. Ultimately, he does have a little bit of potential on the ball, but that is kind of what you're looking at with someone like Collin Murray-Boyles. Not great from the three-point line. I think he shot 26% from three in his second season with South Carolina. There's a lot to like about him. As I mentioned before, we talked about his ability to finish around the rim. His athleticism and his defensive prowess is going to be very big components to any team that selects him. His ability to be able to switch on the pick and rolls, his ability to be able to stay by his offensive player is going to be a natural at the NBA level. And one thing you know for certain is that he's going to bring that defensive intensity every single night. Put it this way, the Bulls right now are in a situation where we have one of the worst defensive lineups out there in the league today. So it wouldn't surprise me that the Bulls would be interested in this specific player to try and fix up certain areas on that defensive end. And you know what? I wouldn't blame them if that's what their thoughts were. And like I said, good rebounder as well for his size. 6'8", naturally a power forward. You could probably make a case that he could kind of move to the small forward as well. But a lot of areas defensively and athletically we could be very happy about as a Bulls team. However, a lot of the interests, a lot of the reasons why teams are drawing towards him, there are a few negatives that I think the Bulls should really be taking into consideration. And one of them is his lack of shooting. We are right now in a situation where we are definitely a fast-paced team, and we chuck up some of the most threes in the NBA. That's just based on last season. So if you're going to get someone to come into this team who doesn't shoot well from the three-point line, and you're going to force him to shoot the threes, I mentioned this with Derek Queen, and I'm going to mention it here as well. Can we have the right development team in place in order for him to make those threes and to develop that three-point game? Because if he doesn't have it, I find it hard for him to be a starter with the Chicago Bulls team. And that's just because of how we like to play. Maybe he has a role off the bench that could be very impactful, but ultimately I can't see this man starting with a lack of three-point shooting or even a lack of attempts from the three-point line. So that's where I think his game hurts the Chicago Bulls. But what does help us, man, he will play fast. We're a team that likes to play fast. We're a team that likes to hit in transition. We like to go. We like to pass the ball. And that's where I think he will shine with this Bulls team. But when you put him in a corner and he can't make the shot, that's going to make our, I guess, half-court offense really difficult to kind of get good shots off, because the defenders will know there is someone there that can't shoot, and they can be lackadaisical on the defensive end. They can kind of narrow down the court because they know certain corners, it doesn't matter, he won't make them. So that's where we really need to see improvements with Collin Murray-Boyles. Can he do that? I really hope so. Everybody in the league deserves a chance to progress and to learn and to adapt to what the NBA has to offer. The NBA is very much a big three-point shooting league. So if you're going to expect this man to be the next superstar of the league and to be the next player where you could kind of think of cornerstone pieces, I think he has to develop that three-point shot. So that's an area of weakness for him, and it's a big area, and it's an area that will definitely hurt any team that selects him. So, is it an essential part? I think for the way the Bulls play, yes, but we've seen around the league, even guys like the Thompson brothers, essentially, both of them, are not amazing scorers whatsoever, but you know what? They're in the league because of everything else that they do. They're in the league for their hustle, their ability to finish around the rim, their defense, flying around the court, sticking with everybody. I mean, that's what the Thompson brothers are. And they found a way to be very successful in a league where they don't shoot the ball that well. So it's not essential for everybody, but it may be essential for the way that we like to play basketball. With that being said, should we select Collin Murray-Boyles with the 12th overall pick in the NBA draft in this upcoming season? Here's how I view it. If the Bulls were in a position where they've got their team set up, ready to compete for the playoffs, and you have that one guy, whether it's off the bench or starting, that does something magnificent for you in terms of hustle, rebounding, maybe putbacks, just the dirty points in the league that you need to win games, to win playoff games. This guy's the man for you. And I guess the question is, are the Bulls in that position? If we're picking 12th, the answer is no. We're not in that position. He'd be a nice addition to have off the bench. I'll give you an example. Guys like an OG Anunoby or a Josh Hart. You know, I know that those guys can shoot the three. They can shoot the three better than what Collin Murray-Boyles can, but they do the hustle plays. I mean, Josh Hart is one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA, and he's a guard. He just hustles for it. He dives for it. He wants that ball. And ultimately, there are a lot of guys in there in the league. We used to have one. His name is Alex Caruso. We used to have a player that could just do a little bit of everything for you and a great piece and a big playoff team. If the Bulls can get there and they have their foundation set to make the playoffs and be competitive, having a guy like this would be fantastic, and he'd be a fan favorite instantly. But I kind of think we're not in that position at the moment, so I wouldn't necessarily want Collin Murray-Boyles with the 12th overall pick at this point in time. Maybe with certain trades that we do down the line, that could change. I would say out of all the players I've talked about, he's probably the last one on my list I'm looking at. Actually second, because I don't necessarily think we need another guard. But yeah, as a forward, I think there could be conversations. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I mean, I think he'll be very good in the league. I just don't think he fits the way that we like to play. But I could be wrong. Prove me wrong. That's all I can say. Prove me wrong. I would love to be proven wrong. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.